Hello everyone, this is Eli G. Brown / Eli G. Brony, and right in front of you, you see a McToron, or at least the style of the McToron. Well, a McToron, but not one of the official sets. This is obviously a customized McToron that I have done, just real quickly, just to show you some sort of interesting technique that I discovered last night, while I was going through my parts drawer. Now, here's the thing. You notice something? That is actually one of the Toa heads. Not the McToron head, one of the original Toa heads. See? Right there. You see that right there? And you probably are asking yourself, how did I get it on there? Well, this is not the first time that somebody has managed to get a 2001 Toa head onto a 2001 Matoron body. Earlier on, somebody figured out an interesting technique. This is just another sample which shows a different technique that is used. And that is by using one of those pin connection pieces, though you probably would need to cut one down, you know, one of those pin pieces that's used, like you get one and what you would need to do is cut them down to a size so they would be about the right height, because otherwise it would be too tall. But the technique that I did for this guy right here, I'll show you in a minute, does not require the cutting of any pieces. Quite honestly, the piece that I used here actually is a piece from a lollipop, not an official Lego piece, but you basically get the same idea on how to do it right there. Alright, so put this guy out of the way. Now I'm going to show you the better technique that I have done. If you do not want to break any pieces, like if you don't want to take one of those pin pieces, those long pin pieces, and cut it to be shorter so it would match the height of the McToron head, or match the, well, you know what I mean. Alright, so here is the trick that I've done. Are you ready for this? The trick that I did for this one is, ta-da! One of these pieces right here. These little pieces that have the pinhole through there and two connection points on either end, just like that, right there. Yeah, what I discovered is that if I connected the headpiece to one of these axle pieces right here, you know, like this, then there is this pinhole right here that I could just attach the head onto. And that works. You see right there? Sure, you would have this other pin piece sticking out from one end right there, but it is a really good way to get the head onto there. It's quite a shame that those pieces didn't exist like a decade ago when these first came out. Otherwise, you probably would have been using them back then for these McToron right now. Well, you could be using them right now. Like, if you have a collection of the McToron, if you still have the McToron from 2001, and you really wanted to find a way to get the heads on without having to cut down those lightsaber pieces, or whatever, those pin pieces, well, this is a good technique that you could use. So, I'm also going to go into more detail about exactly having the Toa heads be used on the McToron bodies. Well, here was the thing. You know the throw arms and that? You now have this capability of flinging the disc, like, even farther. It gives you more, you can move the arms a bit more to the front right there. A lot more than you could before. As with the original Matoron head, they would have that little thing at the front where the arms were limited as far as they could go. The downside to this, involving around the discs, you can't stick them onto the back. I mean, with the original heads, well, you could stick a disc onto the back, but with the Toa heads, you can't do that. But that shouldn't be a problem if you don't really mind doing that. I mean, I didn't do that when I was a kid. I didn't even know that you could do that when I was a kid. I just tried to have the disc be in the arm, so I do remember how I had, when I got my first McToron set, which if you've seen my How I Got My Bionicle Set videos, you probably would know that I got I got Hookie first, and I tried to keep the disc in there, but they kept falling out, because they didn't know that you could put them onto the back right here. But if you have these style of heads, you can't do that. Feel free to tell me which style you pretty much prefer in getting these heads onto the bodies right here. I personally like this idea of using this new, relatively new, Technic piece to stick the head onto there, because it works out so much better, and it doesn't require any cheats at all for that. Alright, so that's about it, and thank you for watching. I sure hope that that helped you a bit if you have been struggling to find ways to use the original Toa heads onto the original Matoron body. I mean, with the 2003 upgrades, getting the Toa heads onto those bodies is pretty simple. I mean, I certainly don't know why they didn't just do that officially. I mean, with the 2003 Matoron, they still had the original Matoron heads on them. I mean, they could have easily just used the Toa style of heads. Sure, they would not fit well all the way, but they're just a slight bit off anyway. So that's about it. Thank you, and I will see you next time.